Alright, now going to the next issue that I keep meeting from some of the people who seem not to understand very well what leadership is about. There are people that say by bringing chiefs back into power or giving chiefs power to rule the nation, we are going backwards instead of going forward. Again, I'm having my own issues with such people because I believe that we are not the first ones to talk about or to have or to even give power to chiefs. The reason why these chiefs are there even to today is because they've been there even before the colonizers came into our land and grabbed power off from them. Now, if we can go just a little bit back into history, you discover that, for example, Zambia was in the hands of these same chiefs that we see around, about 60 years going back, or less than 100, let me just put it that way, less than 100 years going back into history. We as a people were in the hands of our respective chiefs. So, and in those days, I have to stress that in those days, the whole role of leadership was on their shoulders, politically, socially, and economically. Now, I don't see any reason as to why we cannot go back to that system, and especially that is a system which is indigenous to us. That is the system that is native to us, unlike democracy, especially the representative kind of democracy that we practice here. We know that this is something foreign that was imposed on us. Yes, it was imposed on us. It is not something that we very well relate with. To those of you that have done your research and those that have read much, you agree with me when I say that democracy comes from Greece. It is the Greeks that first practiced democracy, the Athenians. Then the whole system got adopted by the Western countries. And eventually it was forced on us because those people are the ones that colonized us. And because it is a system that does not resonate with us very well, we found it very difficult to practice it. We found it to be a very difficult system to fully understand. That's why every time we are having electoral campaigns, for example, we have a lot of confusions and violence taking place everywhere. But we as Bantu people, we have a system that is native, that is well known to us, that our well-being resonates with. So, brothers and sisters, I'm saying we have to go back to our system. And like I'm saying, the Ubuntu model of governance which I've come up with, which I've built, which I've devised, is a system that has been developed based on these two different models, traditional leadership and democracy on the other hand. So these chiefs that you say they are primitive, they are, by giving them power, it means we're going backwards instead of going forward. They will be taught the best way to practice the new governance system that we are putting in place. And one other thing that I have to mention here is that we have again to consult scriptures. In the Bible, we clearly hear statements where the Almighty Elohim is asking us to go back to Him and go back to His laws. In short, every time He wants us to do what is acceptable to Him, He's asking us to go back or to return to Him or to return to His statutes. So, for those of you that are thinking our future is by going forward, I can safely tell you that you are wrong. Our future is by going back. Remember what is written in the book of Malachi chapter 4 verse, starting from 4 to verse 6. He's asking us to link back to our forefathers. We must have that synchronization of faith between us and them. That means the system that worked better for them is the system that we should also adopt. And I can tell you that the system that worked better for them is one that I'm calling Ubuntu model of governance, or traditional leadership at least. Remember how Moshe was commanded to pick elders, or should I say heads of their families, heads of the families of the children of Israel, so that they could also become judges. So we are not the first ones to do this, and I'm happy that we've still maintained this traditional leadership system up to now, so that we are not building it from scratch. We have where to start from. I see no point in maintaining these two systems of leadership in place, the civil leadership and traditional leadership. We have to get rid of one. And obviously the one to get rid of is the one that was imposed on us, the one that is not natural to us, which is civil leadership, and remain with traditional leadership. So by giving back power to our chiefs, we are not going backwards. In fact, that's when we are drawing ourselves close to the Almighty, the creator of all things. Because I always wonder, I've not known not even a single home where children are the ones that are running the show, whilst parents are just sitting around and they can't make any decision on behalf of the children, or the decisions that will be binding on the children. I mean, that is not practical. It is always the parents that are making decisions for the children. But our current situation in which we are, it is the other way around. Children who are always kneeling whenever they meet a chief are the ones that are being more powerful and being having the power to make decisions, which even a chief has no power to overrule. That is not acceptable. That is not right. And I have to mention here that by me saying all these things, by me advocating for the idea that we go back to the system where chiefs become the central figure of leadership. Sorry, I have to state that I'm not sent by any chief, and I'm not being influenced by any chief. So I don't want you politicians to put any blame on any person or any chief. So, like I said, we are not going backwards. We are going back to the right system of leadership that is native to us.